So I just want to go over a few of the latest updates to the Field 360 application. I'm not sure which version it was that came out with it, but since I created the original training videos, there's been some pretty big changes to this app that I wanted to make sure you all were aware of. So let's go into a past project, kind of use as an example. So in the past with Field 360, you can only have single chains of links tying one setup to the other. You can never close the loop of links in the past, just because it either didn't have the processing power or the software wasn't optimized to be able to run that. Now you can go and close loops of links and cross links between all the setups you want, and this will really help speed up the link creation and registration on the Office side of Register 360. So I'll start to kind of showcase some of that, as well as some of the other new tools that have also been released with this app. So you're going to link setups like normal. So in this example, this is kind of, once again, typical to the past, where you just have a kind of a single chain of links running through the center of the project, and from there it branches out or trees out into the rest of the setups. And so this was kind of the old style of doing it. Now, when we go and create links like we normally do, you can go select your setups, and now it'll let you go and close the loops of links. So kind of using the same practice as Register 360, whenever you create links, you want to make sure there's overlap. And while this application won't give you a percentage overlap like Register 360 will, while you're outside scanning in the field, you'll have a pretty good idea of what has enough overlap and what doesn't. And you can always just use the two colors to help differentiate where you have overlap or not, and make sure that it's a good link. So with this, just like in the past, nothing different. You're just going to go and start to optimize your links, create link, and you'll also, now you'll see at the bottom there, it says selected bundle is not optimized. So you don't have to keep re-optimizing overall bundle. Generally, you just kind of do it at the end after you have all your links created. But to optimize the bundle, you're going to go to the right side panel, and you're going to select your very top option for bundles, and you're going to click the three dots, and you should see at the top, optimize bundle. So you select that, and you should see the point cloud kind of adjust and move ever so slightly as it optimizes the bundle together. Nothing will really make or break the registration. It just helps make sure that the overall registration is relatively tight. So once we bring it into Register 360 in the Office, that it's just kind of a one-click operation that we don't need to go and mess with anything. But from there, you're just going to start to go and continually add all your cross links, create triangles from setups to setups. You always want to eliminate or not have any single chains of links kind of throughout the data set. You always want to be cross-linking one setup into the next, or one setup into multiple setups. So here, we're just going to kind of keep chugging away, kind of show some of the typical links that we'd be creating. And once again, you always want to make sure you're closing loops of links. You know, like you see kind of like in the center of the screen, how it's just three links between three setups, kind of off out into space. You always want to avoid that if at all possible, and just make sure that you have all of your setups tied together. So just keep working through that, adding lots of cross links, creating lots of triangles, kind of just like trusses. Lots of links like that will make sure the registration comes nice and tight and doesn't have any issues. So another kind of new tool that was released. So once you go into your link creation tool, on the right side of your panel, you'll see you kind of have a slider. So it's a little bit different from the standard kind of point size slider. So if I exit out of this, so now as you move this slider like the standard slider, it just increases or decreases your point size. But once you go into your linking options, your slider, once you select this little kind of pen slice tool, or like I think it's a razor, once you go and select that, what it's doing is it's actually giving you a slice through the point cloud. So as you drag that bubble or that little dot up and down, it'll move a slice through the point cloud. So you can see, just like your true slicer tool in Register 360, but you can use this to kind of make sure that your registration is nice and tight. So as you see columns that have lots of overlap from all your setups, you can double check to make sure that, hey, you don't have any bad registration issues. I mean, it's a little bit off here, but again, like this is all Field 360. You're just dealing with a small percentage of the point cloud. So overall, as long as it's within the ballpark, within an inch or two, you're going to be perfectly fine. But it's just a new tool that you can have at your disposal to kind of really make sure your registration doesn't get off. Not super critical for small data sets like this, but when you get into very large, spread out projects across, I don't know, 1,000 foot of a level 1 slab. I mean, there you're going to get some good use out of this tool to make sure your registration within the field app isn't getting a little haywire and getting off. But you can also increase the overall thickness of that slice. So as you drag, you'll see a little bit more of the point cloud, or you can make it much smaller. So you're just a sliver of the point cloud that you're looking at any one point in time. But it'll just help you kind of understand, again, registration, if you have any errors or issues, and what setups kind of have overlap with one another. So I'll get out of that though, and we'll just kind of keep going into linking setups. So this is pretty light for what I'm going to show in this example, just for the sake of time, but pretty much every setup will have multiple links into multiple adjacent setups is going to be your best practice. So I'm just going to kind of close the general loop around the perimeter. So now that I got it generally close enough, now you select your bundle, or you just go into your bundle option in the top right corner there. You're going to select your bundle, hit your 3 dots, and hit optimize. And so once that's running, you may see the point cloud kind of shift and move to adjust and make sure that it matches the point cloud, or the registration is tightened up a bit, or you may not see move at all, kind of like in this example here, but just good practice to hit that to make sure that it's coming in relatively close. So the last kind of big update feature that came out within this Field 360 app is once you go into the 3D point cloud view, either from the overall bundle, or you can do it from a single setup. So I'll do it in a single setup just to start. But once you're in this 3D point cloud, you see at the bottom, you have one more red icon. So the far right one. So that's going to be a cleaning point cloud deletion tool, which you can use. So it's going to default to this plan view image, and you're going to have kind of this rectangle. You only have a rectangle, so it's pretty basic, pretty minor options to go and clean. But then in the top left corner, you'll have a few very different navigation viewing options. So this is our orthographic orbit. You can then zoom in, use this one. You can also go to your perspective, a little more kind of first person view. You can go top down, or you can go to an elevation view. You can rotate it, go up and down, zoom in and out. I mean, so you have a couple of different tools to go look around it and navigate. But what this fence tool is going to do, so we'll just do top down. We'll just go get a chunk of this area that's outside of our building. Oops. So now that I have that fence done, I'm going to go, or create, I'm going to go hit done. And you see you have now options to delete inside or delete outside. So in this case, I'll just do delete inside. So what it just did is now those points are gone. So what it's doing is it's creating a filter of sorts. So once we import this point cloud, this raw scan into the Register 360 Office software, it'll automatically delete these points for us. The points are never truly gone. They're still on the flash drive, and we can still fully restore them on the Office side. But as you're scanning from setup to setup and you want to help eliminate some of the cleanup needed after the fact, like think about reflections or through windows or areas with lots of vegetation like we just deleted here, you can go in and delete all that ahead of time. So once it's imported into the Office, you don't need to do that again. So it's just some pretty basic tools, but if there's every once in a while you have a circumstance where it makes sense to go in and do something like that. So just to kind of show it again, we'll just do it from a perspective orbit view. Oops, go back to my orbit, zoom around. Let's go get rid of these kind of black canister things. So done. I go delete inside. So now once again, those points are now gone for this setup. You can also do it. You go select the overall bundle and now go 3D point cloud. Now you can do it for the overall bundle. This will take a little bit longer if you do like I'm about to show you, but you do have options. So I'll just kind of give a rough outside the overall concrete slab that I wanted to keep within it. Then I'll go delete outside. A little bit longer to go and delete it, but from there you should see the point cloud gets cleaned up a fair amount. So again, just like our box we just drew, elevation, same thing, come in here. And then delete outside. So pretty quick and dirty way to go and do some quick cleanup on this field side while you're scanning, just to save a bit of time in the office. Not critical, but it is an option that you're going to have. And once again, these points are not truly deleted and gone. We can always restore them on the office side, but that can only be done on the office side after we've deleted them here. But those are some of the new features, just to kind of make sure that you're taking advantage of the field engineers or the VDC engineers that are scanning. I just want to make sure that you all are aware of these new updates that have come out since the original kind of training videos have been created. So hopefully that helps. As always, if you have any questions, always feel free to reach out to myself. I'll try to help you out with whatever you got going on.